Hi Stampers, this is Dawn and today we're going to do the split negative technique. I had made this video years ago using a love bug, like a VW bug, but today I thought it would be really cute with this truck. And this is the stamp set, Ride With Me. This is the cute truck. And then we're also using the happy birthday for the greeting and the balloons. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. So let me give you the measurements. We're going to use the Highland Heather, and this is cut at 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. Then you're going to use a piece of Whisper White, which is cut at 3 3/4 by 5. Another piece of Highland Heather, which is cut at 3.5 by 4 3/4. And then this section right here is one we're going to focus on for the embossing and the layer. Okay, so you're going to need two pieces, one in Whisper White and one in Basic Black. And these are both cut at 2 3/4 by 3 15/16. And then for the layering of the truck, so let me show you on the sample. So we have the truck pieces right here, which are the two pieces that I just gave you, the 2 3/4 by 3 15/16. But then there's also a layer on that to kind of make that pop out. So this is that section right here. So this piece of Whisper White is cut at 3 by 4 1/4. And then this piece of Basic Black is cut at 2 1/8 by 3. Okay? All right, so now we're going to grab the Stamparatus. Okay, so the Stamparatus works wonderful for this technique. And I don't think we had the Stamparatus when I did the last video on this technique, the split negative. So this is amazing for this. So now the only thing that we're going to do different is that we're going to line up our layers. Now this is the deluxe Stamparatus mat. So it's foam on one side and then you have the grid on the other. Now the Stamparatus also comes with the black foam, which doesn't have this grid. So you can still use that. It's just the grid makes it really nice when you're using a photopolymer stamp set. You need to line it up. Okay? Okay, so we're going to line it up at the 3/4 line right here. That's the line right before the 1 inch. And then everything should line up. And the reason we moved it over was because if it was stamped in the inside of this corner, the truck might not get stamped very good. So I just figured we'll just keep it all the same, 3/4 right here on the line, and then we're going to stamp it. So we're going to first stamp with the Memento ink. We're going to stamp all three images, the truck, the balloon, and the happy birthday. Just making sure to always keep it at that 3/4 inch. Okay, I'm going to stamp it again just right here at the bottom of the truck. Didn't stamp very good there, so I'm just going to re-stamp it. Put extra pressure there. Okay, so there's our truck. Now once again, keeping that lined up at the 3/4 inch. Now we're going to stamp the balloons. Okay, lining it up back up at the 3/4. Then we're going to flip our door on the Stamparatus. We're going to stamp the happy birthday. So there's our first part of the split negative. So this time we're going to use the Basic Black and we're going to use the embossing powder. So we're going to use our embossing buddy to prevent static. So we're going to put this right up at the 3/4, right there. And then we're going to take our Versamark ink, ink that up on the truck. And we're going to stamp this on the Basic Black. Okay. Now you're not going to be able to see the stamped image because it's in a watermark ink. So now we're going to stamp the happy birthday. I'm going to stamp the balloon, so we're going to flip this over and ink up the balloons. Okay, so now we're going to take our white embossing powder. Let me get some scrap. So we're going to pour the Whisper White embossing powder, and you'll be able to see this image come to life. Isn't that awesome? A little bit right down here. Okay, so now we're going to heat set that. So let's go ahead and put all this away. Now we're going to heat set this powder. So the heat is going to melt the powder onto where we put it when we embossed. Okay, so now we have our black with the white and then our white with the black. So now we're going to grab our trimmer. Now you'll be able to get 2 cards out of these 2 images here. So we're going to cut this at 1 7/8, and that should be right smack dab in the middle of the truck, which will divide the truck bed to the front of the truck and then also right between the happy birthday. So 1 7/8. So there's your 2 images. And then the same with this one, 1 7/8. Okay, so there's the black and white one there. All right, so now we're going to make our layering part right here. So we're going to attach the basic black to the Whisper White piece. All right, so now remember, this is the layer. So we're going to take our back end piece of the truck, and I wanted my girls to make this card at the retreat with the back end so we can use the Stampin' Blends, which is the Highland Heather, and everybody got to pick their own color as long as there was a Stampin' Blends to match. So we had some of the girls make the Granny Apple Green, some of them make the Bermuda Bay, and then I think one even made the Balmy Blue, which is really cute. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to layer this onto the basic black. But the trick here is you're going to line it up with the edge of the basic black, because then you're going to take the front of your truck and you're going to butt it up against that Whisper White and you're going to layer it. See how that layers really nice together? So you're going to want your edge around the layer, but you want it up against that. I guess it's the right hand edge right here, especially for the Whisper White. And then the black will butt right up against that. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this together. Okay, so we're going to take the front. Now the trick is to line that image up with the Whisper White piece and the Happy Birthday at the bottom. So it looks like it's put together seamlessly. And everybody will be like, how did you do that? Isn't that awesome? Okay, so now we're going to layer this onto the Highland Heather right here. Let's bring in our other pieces. All right, so you could also pop the truck up, which is what I think we did at a retreat. Isn't that cute? All right, then we're going to take our Stampin' Blends. I'm using the Highland Heather in the combo. I'm going to start with the dark, and I'm going to outline the balloon with the dark. And then color in the balloons with the light. Now typically when I've done the split negative, it's usually the black and white. So with the Highland Heather with the balloons kind of gives it a pop of color. So now here's the opposite. So like if I turn this around, this is where you can make your second card. So if I turn this around, so it's the opposite. So the white's on the black. So you're still going to line that up with the edge. And then your black piece with the balloons are going to come into this side here on the Whisper White layer. And then you're going to butt them up just like we did with the other image. But you would make another layer. You know, your Whisper White and your little small piece of basic black. Whisper White piece was the 3 by 4 1/4, and then the really small piece of basic black was 2 1/8 by 3. So you just need to cut another piece of those layers and then pop those up, and then you can have another section of your card. You just won't be able to color those balloons in to make them like a pop of color here. Okay, so here's the other layer. And then here's the other one that I made here with the Highland Heather. Okay, so if you have any questions, just let me know. And I'll also have all the items listed below. And then don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss any future videos. Okay, thanks for stopping by. We'll see you later. Bye.